Welcome everybody. On this adventure, we'll be heading to southeastern Wisconsin to our family farm to hunt Wisconsin whitetail deer. With me, I'll have my dad and brother, as well as my cousins and uncle. Throughout the year, we have noticed a large amount of deer activity on our property. This includes a nice variety of good-sized bucks. However, the buck that we were all after was a big 10-pointer with split G2s. The night before opening day, we all put our names into a hat and choose where we all get to sit the next day. My stand will be just west of the small woods that we call the swamp. My Uncle Shane will be in the stand that sits in the marsh. My cousin Matt will sit in the stand looking over the 3-acre field. My cousin Sam will sit in the tower stand. And my dad will split those two right down the middle. Early on, Matt is visited by a small fork buck. It's clear that this buck knows something is wrong, and he soon wanders off. Meanwhile, over by my stand, a flock of birds is hungry and looking for a little bit of corn to eat. A little bit later, Matthew is once again visited, this time by a flock of turkeys. Sam, however, has a bit of a different visitor by him. He told me he could hear this little guy scratching up against the base of his stand before he ever saw him. And I think he might be onto him. As the wind picks up, I continue to see nothing where I'm at. I know this is more of a nighttime stand, so I'm hoping to have better luck tonight. Right before dark, the deer will typically cross this field, coming from the neighbor's large woods next door. I pack up my stuff and head in for lunch, hoping to see some more deer tonight. And would you look at that, before you know it, my plan coming to action. I spot a doe coming across that field, and not before long I notice that she's got a friend and a not-so-secret admirer. As I keep watching, I have 4 or 5 doe being followed by a mature buck and also a younger buck. As the deer continued on their path, cutting through the corner of the woods and then heading up the next fence line, by the time I had seen them, it had become too dark. Better luck tomorrow. After an unsuccessful morning, we decide to pack it up and all head in for lunch. We all take a moment to discuss how our mornings went, and then we discuss what our plans are for that night. My plan is to head into the woods where I saw the deer crossing the night before to sit in a double ladder stand to try cutting them off.
Just heading back out. As you can see, nasty weather out here right now. It just started snowing. We have a wind advisory going through the night. It's getting pretty gusty out here. We'll see if any of the deer are moving still.
Luckily, as I sit down, the snow stops and the sun comes out. Unfortunately, the wind is still very present.
A bit windy.
No deer to be seen, but it looks like Sam's friend has come back. I think it's safe to say that the deer all bedded down because of the wind. I have one more chance to go out tomorrow morning. Let's make it worth it. Due to work and school, it is only going to be me and my dad out today, so I take the tower stand and he stays put. Today is by far the chilliest day yet. It is a shivering 9 degrees outside. And then right before 7 a.m., I hear a shot come from the direction of my father's stand. He texts me that he just shot at a buck, that he's going to wait 15 minutes and then go check, and told me to hang tight in case he stirred something up and it would run my direction. After about 30 minutes had passed, I hadn't heard anything from him, so I decided to get down from my stand. I head over his way to help him try finding some blood. After looking for about 15 minutes or so, he is starting to lose hope. He begins to second guess his shot and wonders if he hit the buck at all. We then find a couple drops of blood, but we don't believe it's enough to have seriously injured the animal. Finally, we start to find significant amounts of blood, and before you know it, we spot the deer down about 20 yards away.
Wowza.
The old man got the 10-pointer that we had been tracking all year long. I seriously can't be happier for my old man. This was by far the biggest buck he's ever gotten with his gun, and the amount of time and effort he put in during the off-season to revamp all the shacks, he was the most deserving of this deer. Now it's time to field dress the deer, pack him up, and get him out of there. It was awesome seeing how excited my dad was to get this buck, and it was definitely a great way to end my hunt. The next part of this trip takes me across the state to Tomah, Wisconsin, which is part of the driftless area. The terrain in this part of the state is much different and a lot more hilly. I'll be hunting a 50-acre property with my girlfriend's dad, Jeff. Jeff is known as a trophy hunter. He's been able to land such big bucks due to his herd and land management techniques. Unfortunately, we didn't go over proper camera operating procedures before we got to the stand, but Mr. Zelli saw a fork buck and was trying to get on camera right here. Let me know if you guys can see it. Not long after seeing that first buck, another one had crossed our path. This one was missing half his rack. He'd keep moving along, but before you knew it, he'd pop up on the trail cam Jeff has set up. The land shows a lot of deer activity, from trail cam footage to scrapes on trees. However, our luck would stop at those 2 bucks that we saw. It was a lot of fun being able to go spend some time with Jeff. He has lots of great ideas for improving his land, and I look forward to seeing how they turn out. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be able to go on his land with him and look forward to doing more videos with him in the future, because he is a great outdoorsman. His most recent adventure took place in Alaska, where he was able to successfully harvest a bull caribou. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please let me know with a like, comment, or subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next adventure.